Good evening, guys, and welcome back to race 2 of round 6 from the Midnight Oil Racing League's GT7 Championship. This is season 2, so obviously being race 2, this is going off of grid results once again, or off the qualifying results. So Thomas lining up on pole, Wenny G's there in 2nd place, we've got Blood Diamond in 3rd, Ice Chan starts in 4th, we've got Dan Bailey in 5th, Vex is 6th, Molson's in 7th, we have Clutch in 8th, Pickles 9th, and Asbo is 10th. And I did say in the last video that we'd get the stand-ins coming into this round, so there's actually changed at the top. Ice Chand now holds the lead with 231 points. Too Fast not far behind with 219. Thomas currently on 195, he's tied with Dan Bailey also on 195. Molson in 5th with 160, we've got Blood Diamond on 121 points in 6th. Vexed is in 7th with 109. We got Silent in 8th with 88, tied with Irons Clutch in 9th with 88. Asbo's on 81, and then we have Dirty Dubs on 26 points. So without further ado, let's get this second race of the evening done and dusted. Wait for the lights to illuminate, and then they will go out. We'll get the klaxon as well. There we go, the klaxon sounded, they are off. Thomas losing the position off the start already, as seems to be the way with that Porsche. Actually, a gag of cars behind, almost 4 wide into turn 1. We got Ice Chand now in 3rd place, trying to pressure Thomas. We can see a bit of the net code with Thomas now. We've seen it with a few of the drivers. Vex somehow up into 4th place. Who was out in the background there? I think that was Jason. So Vex and Molson side by side, or they were. Vex with a massive moment there. Has that allowed Molson to come back alongside? I think that's allowed Clutch. Clutch looks like he's got a run. He's managed to dip ahead of Molson. Molson trying to weave this way and that way to try and get past Clutch. Clutch goes a little bit deep through the left-hander, which opens it up there to Molson to go around the outside. He's going to be on the outside for this one though. Clutch will surely have the inside. Can he hold the inside? Come down to the hairpin. I think Molson's managed to eke ahead already, and he has. So going for the aggressive strategy once again is Molson. So yeah, Vex up to 4th place, Molson now in 5th, Clutch is now 6th, we've got Dan Bailey in 7th, Asbo is 8th, Pickle is 9th, and Blood Diamond all the way at the back in 10th. So Wenny G started pulling out a bit of a gap already. It's going to be a couple of attempts at least, maybe even approaching the 8 attempts to a 2nd mark. Starts collecting a bit of the gravel. I shouldn't slow him down too much. So Thomas still being hounded by Ice Chan. Thomas on the slower of the 2 tyres, but still managing to keep that Porsche ahead of the Lamborghini. He's had a really good run so far this season. Currently leading the championship. Can he maximise on his points here and still be leading the championship next week? We'll find out obviously in race 1 next week. So Vex looking like he's under pressure now from Molson. Molson having to look up the inside into turn 1. Vex just still ahead through the corner, but on the exit there, I think Molson, will he get it done? No. It's going to be Vex inside for this next left-hander and the following one. Will he open the door up here? Will Molson be able to go for a lunge at the inside? Not quite that time round. Just not close enough. Can Vex keep that McLaren ahead and maybe eat into some of the tyres on Molson's car? Because them softs aren't going to go the distance. So I thought Chandler managed to close that gap once again, but it's opened up a couple of attempts. Molson has finally managed to get past Vex. I think it was through the hairpin. We'll have a quick look. So yeah, in fact it was. So Molson just with the overspeed there, manages to brake a little bit later. Vex can't defend the inside line that time round. Tries to hold it around the outside, but Molson just gets a better run off the exit. Aided by that soft compound tyre as well. He's going to be looking to make the most of them. How long will he be able to run them for? I'm not too sure. They're looking a little bit worse for wear already. So Vext settles for 5th at the moment. Danny Bailey not far behind. Danny Bailey's made up a position. He's managed to get past. Wait, Clutch has lost 2 positions. So Dan Bailey and Blood Diamond both have managed to get the pass done on Clutch. Clutch now down to 8th place. Dan Bailey goes deep through that last turn. That has now released Blood Diamond. And Blood Diamond can start trying to focus on the top 5. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if Jace just lost it or if there was maybe a little bit of contact through the first couple of turns, but he's managed to make his way back to 6th already. Coming from the back. Further back we have Dan Bailey and Clutch having a bit of a battle now. Clutch looking for a way through. Is he going to be able to get the move done? And Clutch looking like he might lose the position to Pickle. And Pickle does move ahead. We're on board with Asbo watching this unfold. So Pickle managed to move ahead with the GR Super, and Asbo goes for a lunge. That was a late lunge there from Asbo. Oh, he was confident there, wasn't he? Almost managed to make it work, but Clutch just getting the better exit. I think that was the most passive-aggressive move we've ever seen from Asbo. Not usually an aggressive driver, but he wanted a bit then, didn't he? Definitely saw his opportunity and tried to take it. Didn't quite pull off. Pickle looking like he's gone a little bit deep. Has that opened the door there to Clutch? Clutch having to brake on the exit. That was a little bit strange. We have got some cloud forming around the track. Let's hope the weather doesn't become a factor in this race. Wayne G has got a country mile over Thomas now. Definitely isn't going to be giving him the tow along the straights. How long can he keep it there for? Currently with the fastest lap, 158.873. So Thomas in the Porsche, still holding on to that 2nd place. He lost the lead off the start. Off the line, the Porsche just absolutely dead. But still holds on to 2nd place. Chan hasn't dropped off the back of him either, so Chan still keeping them within touching distance. It looks like Wilson's made a return to no traction, so GG's Wilson. I know for sure when it rains, I think everybody starts using it again. I think it was just, obviously, with the physics update, everyone's jumped back on GT7, and it feels a little bit alien when you come back to the game. And behind, we have Vex now being challenged by Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond looking for a way through. They're both on the medium tyre. Almost managed to get it done up the inside there, but I think he decided to back out as there was a tiny bit of contact. And lives to fight another day. I think he's going to play the patient game, wait for his opportunity to be able to get one past. It's not going to be here through the centre S's, but maybe on the exit, on the approach to the next left-hander. And he did think about it, he thought about it for a moment, but wasn't quite close enough to get the move done. But there we go, Vex has opened the door once again, and here it is. Jason will get the move. And that was textbook there from Jason. Just moves ahead. Vex is trying to come back. Is he going to be able to have a go into the chicane? I think he's had to back off a little bit as to not run into the back of Jace. Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond free now to try and get onto the back of Molson. It looks like Vex maybe having a run into the final turn. Blood Diamond covers it off. I think at that point we were thinking the Blood Diamond was going to get a penalty, but he managed to get away with it. But he clearly had all four wheels over the white line, so, you know, this is GT's wonderful penalty system. It decides to give you one when you're not over the white line, and when you do go over, sometimes it'll be like, nah, that's alright, it's fine. And don't even get me started on the pit line penalties, because they are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, there we go, that's that for the minute. Dan Bailey is some way off the back of Vex now. Managed to gap Pickle by a few seconds. Pickle still running in 8th place. Clutch, after his last round was absolutely phenomenal. He scored some really good points there. So I think maybe just perhaps the Nurburgring isn't one that he's too familiar with, trying to get to grips with the track as he drives it. But I'm not too sure. He might be familiar with most of them by now. Asbo not far behind. He's not going to be able to push any longer on that soft compound tyre though. They are starting to die a bit of a death. So Wayne G in the RX Vision. Putting in the work at the moment, and it's paying off. He's managed to create another couple of seconds gap. There's got to be at least 5 seconds back to Thomas now, I would say. But Thomas is going to be able to go for a lot longer on them hards if he chooses to. Will he decide to go in around the same time though? And we've seen this from Thomas. He seems to prefer the harder compound tyres. But this would not have been a thing back with the old tyre model. The hards were absolutely awful. They just were not a viable race tyre at all. Now, as you can see, definitely a well-worthy race tyre. So Blood Diamond, after the lap 1 incident, finds himself back up into 4th place. He's taken the fastest lap on lap 3 of a 1:58.359. Are we going to see that change? Mawson now with a bit of breathing space over Vexed. He's going to have to pit soon with them softs though, isn't he? I wonder if he'll come in at the end of this lap. Just over 11.5 minutes through this race. And he does filter into the pits now, so that releases Vex once again. Not sure he's going to be able to get onto the back of Blood Diamond. You can just see him creeping out of the shot, up ahead. Just up the road is Blood Diamond, but that is at least 8 to 10 seconds at the moment that Vex has to find to be able to reel him in. I think he's just going to work on playing the consistent game, just try and not make any mistakes. So Dan Bailey went from racing hards in the first stint. Was that an error? Same strategy as Thomas though, and Thomas is currently sat in 2nd place. Dan Bailey is still sat in 6th. So it would appear like the hards aren't slowing anyone down too much. I think that may be the reason that he had a couple of little errors here and there. On there again, we can see a little bit of netcode with Dan Bailey. So, what is... Is it a lobby issue? Or a GT7 issue? So Mawson re-emerges in 9th on a fresh set of mediums. Asbo some way off the back now. He's also gone into the pits. He's also taken on a fresh set of mediums. So Thomas is now into the pits. That's released Wayne G. Wayne G still on the mediums. Thomas is going to get rid of them hards. What is he going to come out on? Chand also favours track position. And the overcut. I think Thomas just coming out of the pits now. Is he going to lose the position to Blood? No, he's not. Okay, so yeah. Blood Diamond moves through up into 3rd place. Vexed back up into 4th. Thomas is going to come out not far behind him though. Pickles is now in. You just see Thomas in the shot there, bearing down on Vexed. Still quite a few car lengths back, but I think it's only going to be a matter of turns before he is on to the back of Vexed in the McLaren. Definitely looking pretty speedy at the moment on that fresh medium tyre. Wayne G is now finally into the pits. I think Ice Chan will probably follow him. In fact, Ice Chan stays out. So Ice Chan has stayed out for another lap. Vexed does now dive into the pits. So that's going to release Thomas. There we go. Just see Vexed filtering into the pits. Just out of shot. Thomas now free to try and create a bit of a gap to the guys behind. Oh, Blood Diamond stayed out as well. So Blood Diamond and Ice Chand, the only two people still yet to pit. So Wayne G has gone for a set of racing softs, and he is right on the back of Thomas already. Must have come out of the pits that close. That was how much of a gap he had. Before he entered. Is he going to be able to get a move done, aided by that soft compound tyre? You would imagine so. That's a Blood Diamond now up to 2nd. Chand still in the lead of the race, but I think Thomas might become new race leader once these guys decide to pit, unless Wayne G can in fact get past him. Oh, a bit of a moment there from Thomas. That may have cost him a couple of hundredths. So Ice Chand is now into the pits. I think Blood Diamond will follow suit. And he does. Look at the fuel difference. Chand on 43, Blood Diamond 38. So Blood Diamond's definitely used more fuel. So here we go. Thomas will move through and take the lead of the race once again. Well, in fact, becomes new race leader. I think it's the first time he's led, isn't it? He led off the start, but then lost the lead on the start. I think he got ahead of Wayne G momentarily, but then Wayne G was ahead before he went into the pits. However, Thomas now in control of the race. How long can he keep the RX Vision behind him? The RX Vision on the faster tyre. Definitely going to be a bit of an interesting battle. Oh, and there we go around the outside. Wayne G, just aided by the superior grip of that soft compound tyre, manages to sling one around the outside. Thomas just left waiting in the wings. And Wayne G putting in purple sectors. Is he going to be able to take the fastest lap as well? Coming up to the 20-minute mark, so only 5 minutes to go and change. There we go, 5 temps, purple through the middle sector. We're into the final sector now. So that was sector 3. We're in sector 4. Is Wayne G going to take the fastest lap here? I think we touched on it in the first race. Wayne G favours that, really straddling the curb on the approach to the final turn. And then we go 157.782. Which is a very respectable race pace from Wayne G. Too fast for use. Thomas still not far behind. I think he's just got to wait now. Just wait for Wayne's tyres to drop off, which they will do eventually. He's got another 5 minutes to go on that soft. So are the mediums going to come into their own? Thomas should eventually have the grip advantage. It looks like he's actually on a bit of a run at the moment. Definitely putting Wayne G under some pressure. So Blood Diamond out on a fresh set of softs, as is Ice Chand. Vexed is on a few laps old softs now, and he is being chased down by Mawson. Dan Bailey not far behind as well. But Mawson just not quite close enough to go for a move as yet. Dan Bailey finds himself in a bit of no man's land at the moment. Some way off the back of Mawson, but also he has got a nice bit of breathing space over 8th place Pickle. Pickle actually somewhere ahead at the moment of Clutch, who was running in 9th place. Then we have Asbo in 10th. Wayne G still controlling the race. We might have to check back in with Vexed and Mawson in a minute, because that gap looks like it's become... Has it become closer than it was? It does look a little bit close. Ice Chand. Can he manage to reel the top 2 back in? He's definitely been looking after them softs. I think Jason may just settle for 4th now. He's only got a few minutes left to be able to get onto the back of Ice Chand and maybe potentially set up a move. Vexed coming under increasing pressure from the green 4 GT of Mawson. In fact, it looks like he's created a bit more of a gap again. I think Mawson had reeled him in, but Vex seems to have found a second wind from somewhere and has managed to pull out a few temps. Can he keep it there though? We will have to find out. But Dan Bailey, how much is he starting to close? So yeah, still around the same gap as it was before. You definitely see Mawson ahead. Yeah, just not quite close enough. Oh, Clutch having a huge moment there. He's kept it going. The rear of that car snaking all over the show. Somehow managed to keep it going. Didn't spin completely. So kudos there to Clutch. I'm not sure what happened or how he managed to save it, but yeah, cat-like reflexes from Clutch. Pickle. We haven't seen much of Pickle in this race. I'm sure he'd love to be on the back of Dan Bailey trying to challenge him and Mawson for position, but currently this is where he finds himself, and I think he's having to do some tyre management at the moment. I think that front left might just yeet itself. Oh, Vex has picked up half a second's penalty. That is going to help Mawson out massively. If he has to serve it on this lap, I think this is going to be the final lap. That is going to mean Mawson gets that position. Will that bring Dan Bailey into the picture as well? I think at the moment he may be too far back. Oh, Mawson with a big moment once again. Manages to keep that Ford GT going. And Mawson knows he doesn't have to work for it now. He's just got to keep as close as he can and he will get that position for free. But we might have to go on board with Wayne G in just a second. I think he's just about to come into the final sector. Thomas hot on his heels. Vex driving like a man possessed, trying to create any sort of gap that he can to Mawson to be able to keep that position, but I think with that penalty he's definitely going to lose it, isn't he? And here we go, we're going to have to go on board with the top two because they are coming up to the finish line now. Wayne G manages to hold off Thomas in the end. Is he going to take it? Oh, and he does. So Wayne G first, Thomas in second place. I thought it was a photo finish there. Chand will take third, Blood Diamond fourth in the end. GG's Blood, good recovery drive there, but Mawson managed to steal that fifth place in the end after that penalty from Vex. That was unlucky there for Vex to get that half a second towards the end. He's going to have to settle for sixth. So Mawson fifth, Vex in sixth, Dan Bailey will be seventh. We're going to have Pickle coming home in eighth place. Clutch was ninth, and Asbo finished in 10th place. Well, that was it, guys, for this week. That was round 6 and the Nurburgring. We'll be back next week with round 7, so tune in again, same time, same place. I've been your boy Vex. This has been the Midnight Oils Racing League. Yeah, Midnight Oil Racing League. And I'll see you again next time. Good night.